Hey everybody, welcome back. Wow. So we all got up this beautiful morning and we decided to, we kind of looked over the Kickstarter page and, we missed a minor detail about the strategist pledge that was supposed to be capped at 10. We absolutely did not mean to open it up for more, but
I've got it. So from my perspectives, I pushed the launch button. I mean, we might as well talk about this now, right? I mean, this is the thing. Like, we had a whole scheduled list of things to talk about, and Adam just wrote over the entire thing, strategist pledge. So, yeah, I was the one to push the launch button, and, everyone's doing everything and contributing in every which way, and, so there's many eyes on the project, but that was one of those things that just slipped through. And we were just, I pushed it, and Kickstarter, for the first time, it went live immediately. Oftentimes it spins and waits for, I don't know, a long 30 seconds.
The hamster on the wheel to finish.
Right. And you're like, come on. But this time it went, you're live. And there was 0 backers for about 15 to 20 seconds. I was like, oh, did we get the time right? All of this. Right. And then boom, and it went, and it started going, and it kept going. And we're like, wait a minute. And then, Salem came in and was like, do we cap the strategists? And so at that point, it was a massive scramble for me to find the edit button, get in there, and the last number I saw was 150 on strategist, but it had gone so fast, and this is just a matter of seconds, that I was like, okay, I'm going to be chasing this number forever if I try to. Yeah. So I was like, 300, which is perfect. Perfect number.
Yeah. So, and
it was at 270 by the time I clicked save. So, yeah.
I think it's already been mentioned in the comments, but we will absolutely be keeping the strategist
we will.
up there. I don't know if we'll figure out a way to kind of...
Gilly's got to go, but we will keep the strategist.
Yes, Gilly's got to go. I mean, yeah. But anyways... it's kind of a shock factor, like what just happened. But after we kind of processed it, I'm actually super excited that we got that many backers, and it just shows that so many people care about our company and what we do, and I'm just excited to have. I think this is a great game to get started as a strategist in. And we have some fantastic titles coming down the road.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, if everyone knew what was coming, I think they'd be even more excited about nabbing one of those.
Not to mention all the stretch goals we're going to crush now.
Right.
So we just jumped right to the middle of stretch goals, just like that.
That's true.
So by the way, so for those of you who don't know, this is Logan Giannini. So Logan, we brought on board sometime last year, and he's been working on a number of projects for us, but pertinent to this game, he's our co-designer. So he's been helping me. Actually, it's a group project, really, but it's been fantastic to work with Logan very closely on this project, and I'm telling you, I am so excited about this game, and I'm going to be doing a playthrough later after we, get this intro wrapped up, and then, so you guys stay tuned for the first taste of real gameplay using the most updated components that we have anyways. So I think this was one of the opportunities we wanted to take to talk about, again, going back to day one, our flagship game, Hoplomachus, and just talk about the evolution of, not the company, but the game, because Hoplomachus has been the only title that we published the first 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So we started with The Lost Cities, and then we did Rise of Rome the second year. Yep. And again, we were a small time publisher. We learned all of the lessons that could be learned, but it's been fun. And looking back,
I think it's funny to just the fact that the strategist was a pledge level at the beginning with Hoplo that we came up with to help infuse our project a little bit with a good start to the funding. It worked really well during that time with what's hot on Kickstarter. It got that traction right away, and so it's funny that was a key component of that game, and then full circle. Now, unintentionally, it became kind of a key aspect to this first launch.
Someone mentioned this morning that there were 39 unclaimed strategist pledges across the first 2 or 3 projects. So that was kind of interesting. Like we were trying to talk people into getting the strategist, invest in us.
Yeah, absolutely unproven at the time, and
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool looking back. I mean, this is obviously a project that is near and dear to both Adam and myself, and so to see it kind of come full circle like this, but have so much more talent on the team to like work on it. It's inspiring because there's it was just a meager beginning, and like to now have that talent and see it right there being worked out through mechanics and being worked out through art and all of that. It's really, really cool to see this now come to life in a new way, completely new way, but also have those ties back to the core game or the original game.
Yes.
So yeah.
So after Hoplomachus, of course, we published Too Many Bones, and Too Many Bones just dominated the scene and really is our cash cow.
Yeah.
And but we absolutely believe that, it's funny. I think that if the tables were turned and Too Many Bones was our first, and then I don't know. I just think that Hoplo has its place among the solo gamers, and I sure hope that it's as well received as Too Many Bones. I mean, just seeing the following on Bones just makes me happy, and I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think so much of it is that new chip theory aesthetic, kind of from Too Many Bones onward. Yep. I was not overly, I knew Hoplomachus existed, but I came to the company with Too Many Bones. That was the first one I played. I got into Cloud Spire, and I loved them. And every time I would look back at Hoplo, I go, that just, it doesn't look as good. It doesn't look as polished. And I didn't actually play it until last year when, I came on board to work on Victorum. And I started playing it and going, well, this is really good. Like, why did I wait so long? Sure. And so bringing it up to, chip theory today has been really exciting. And I think it's going to be really cool for people to see.
I think also there's a really cool aspect to that. I mean, obviously it's known this is a solo-only game. But and we've done solo from the beginning. Like, it was all our games were built that way. But it has been really fun to see this developed as with that and only that. And everyone from Andrew Navarro saying, and I feel like he was the first one that was he was like, how are we going to make this all about the one player? Like, everything kind of facing, and the attention is on you because that's the only person we need to be attentive to, and that really got us thinking in this. It kind of inspired the stadium seating actually, and that was really fun to see that kind of come to fruition. So yeah. I'm curious. I'm really curious to hear. Most of the development has been handled by these two, and so I'm really curious to hear how that's come through. The solo development.
Sure. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'm reminded of. So we go back. I'm gonna rewind to 2 years ago. We're kind of in a spot where we're starting to run out of Too Many Bones, and the first question we ask is, are we going to reprint? Are we going to print more? I'm sorry, did I say Too Many Bones? I meant Hoplomachus.
Yeah.
So, are we going to print more? Because, we look at it and we love it, but we see now, looking at the rule book, after we've really kind of come a long ways in terms of editing, and we have a team now, so it's like, well, we really should be updating the rule book. And then we look at the art, and it's like, well, that was all public domain. We really should update the art. And then we talked about ideas about, taking all of Hoplomachus and putting it all in one box. And then that evolved into, well, let's make it more affordable. And that was where the Remastered idea was born, and we kept that. But we also wanted to do something new and more, and we doubled down on the solo gaming aspect because Hoplomachus Origins really lent itself well to solo play with the trials, and we wanted to expand on that and kind of take that trials and build a story into it, make it about the heroes. And so anyways, all of that talk has been happening, over the course of a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then real development started sometime early last year. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I think the really exciting thing from the solo development standpoint is just how dynamic it can be.
Yeah.
Because when you have PvP, you've always got to keep that parity in mind and go, well, this can't be broken, this can't be broken. When you're talking about a solo game, a solo campaign game, no less, you can say, well, hey, here's this potential. You have to get lucky. You have to do this. But you could, break the game in this really cool, exciting way, and it's okay in solo. It's rewarding you, whereas in PvP, it's punishing and it feels bad for one player.
Right.
So it opens up whole different avenues, which is really exciting.
Right. No, that's great. I see that in the arenas. It allows us to take a little bit more risk with the development, and I've seen that in some of the scenarios that you're creating all these different encounters. And how you have to come at them from so many different aspects and strategies. It's really, really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's I can't wait to play it more.
That's good.
So in development of this game, there are, and I think we mentioned this before, and I'll mention it one more time just because I have to, but the inspiration behind the game, again, from the original series, Josh and I played a lot of Gladius on PlayStation 2. And funny enough, I got back into Gladius last year, and so there's a lot of hints and a lot of cool aspects that we were able to bring to the board game form, and actually even more so with Victorum. And of course, we have our entire staff has been playing Slay the Spire, and that's another game that we mentioned. I would say that there are some notes of Slay the Spire in the game. Namely with the map component. So you'll see during my playthrough maybe some of that deck building, ship building mechanic, as well as choosing a pathing for the map. It's Slay the Spire is more linear, and this is more open world, but very similar in trying to stop at specific nodes, and so. Anyways,
one thing I wanted to mention about that, the map and how that's been developed has been really, really interesting to me too. From the standpoint of as I was playing some of my playthroughs on it, I would get a little bit focused in on the icons of what kind of a battle I wanted to face. Was it going to be a sport or a lethal? Or an opportunity, but I would get so focused on that I would forget to look at what region I was in, and it matters so much. So a sport battle in Atlantean, or Atlantis, it's very different, and I might not be prepared for that. So there's a lot of different levels to your strategy in terms of the planning piece.
And you have so much freedom too. If you say I want this event in this arena, and I'm this close. Well, maybe I'll spectate this, I'll go get this easier event here, I'll pay this little price. There's all the checks and balances, but you have that freedom of choosing how you want to approach it.
Yeah, actually, that's a very good point. One of the things that I'm very excited about is that spectate aspect allows you to just kind of skip a battle here and there. Now, in other games, like Too Many Bones, for example, you don't have the choice of just saying, well, I don't want to do that. Or even an option of conceding.
Right.
So there's that surrender aspect. If you start battling, you're like, I surrender, so I'll show that a little bit later. But the spectate allows the freedom for picking and choosing the specific battles that we want to do, and also the if you lose a fight, it's not as detrimental. I mean, it'll set you back a little bit. So. There's an ebb and flow to the development of your hero and the roster. So I would see this as more of a marathon than a sprint in terms of gameplay and development.
And a big part of that, and a big part of that freedom is because, and this is one of the kind of Slay the Spire-esque elements, if your hero dies, that's it. That's game over. So we wanted to make sure that wasn't happening all the time. You have this freedom to go, my hero is near death, I need to surrender this fight, go heal up, and live to fight another day, because you want to win this whole campaign, but if you lose your hero, that's it. It's over. It's reset. It's try again, and that's going to happen a lot too. It is very roguelike in that sense.
Well, I know there will be lots of time for you to go through the game. I think let's change it up. Talk a little bit more about. So we haven't even got to the stretch goals. You'll see those getting posted today. that we weren't Heather. No, we're gonna be. I mean, we have a staff that's doing 100 things each, today. So it's just so we'll get to it. We'll get to it. We promise. And you'll get to see everything that we've unlocked so far. They're spread out pretty. How would I say this? Generously, maybe you could say, so that we're unlocking a lot of stuff quite often. Mm-hmm. So we'll get that graphic posted as soon as we can today, and you'll see. And oh my goodness, we're already past 3. So yeah, there's a lot to unlock.
1,000
and I think
backers.
we just hit 1,000 backers.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
That's pretty awesome. That's
awesome.
pretty awesome. Wow. Yeah. So, is there anything else on your list that you wanted to cover, or do we want to hit some questions?
I think
questions?
I have nothing more.
Good.
So let's dive in, and we've got some questions that are rolling in.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. So, is the art for the chips and arenas finalized, or will those be getting updated throughout the campaign? And as part of this, are the dice going to be changed from previous Hoplo versions?
It's a great question. So we do have some unlocks that are going to affect the dice. The dice design hasn't been locked in yet. We put the ones that people know just because they're what we have and it's recognizable. But I almost assuredly I can say assuredly that yes, the dice will get an update and be changed. And then there's an unlock somewhere along the line that changed that more to like a marble look. And feel so that it just feels much more Victorum-esque.
Yep. And I think on the topic of arenas, they're at all different points. So what you're seeing on the campaign page is various. Some are much closer to being done. Others are just the first couple layers without a lot of the details going in. So those are going to continue to develop along the way.
As will this map here. Mm-hmm. We're trying a lot of different things. Obviously, the map is in front, and that works really well. And but we wanna toy a little bit with how that treatment is. So this has it more of like integrated with the landscape. We have another version that's showing at the top of our campaign that's using a scroll. All of that is in flux and being decided on. So.
Yeah, there's going to be some edge stitching.
Yep.
So our prototype doesn't have that.
Sure.
And our arenas are actually separate from the base mat.
Yep.
So
double-sided.
They will be double-sided.
Stitched.
And there's going to be 4 of them. So there are 8 separate arenas to
That is
battle
so
on.
cool.
And it is
That's
also
so
being
cool.
laid out in such a way that typically, as you move along, we're very mindful of making it as easy as possible. Just flip it over when you go to that arena, and having to switch that mat out as minimally as necessary through the course of the game.
Cool.
All right, next question. Are there going to be any expansions for Victorum?
I mean, so I think that our approach is really we want to roll this out, and the focus is really just for this game. We would absolutely like to look ahead. I think we've got some chicken scratch notes on where we could take this, but we really wanted to make sure that the game was well received and that this is the right series that we want to develop a nice, strong leg for us as a company. But right now, all we've got, and again, and I think I share this, and we'll talk a little bit more another time about the Remastered, but absolutely, we will be kind of recommending all of those who are in for Victorum to pick up that Remastered, because there's a lot of great content in Remastered that is compatible with Victorum and vice versa. So really, I think our ideas for the expansion are kind of just rolled into that one. I don't know.
There is definitely a little bit of both. Obviously, we love listening to the community, and if the community is asking for more content, we are pretty quick on the take with that.
We're not lacking for ideas.
No, lots of ideas here. But we also kind of want to read the room and see how things go with this first. And like Adam said, Remastered has a ton of content in it. And when you start to see, we'll be doing a little bit more of information and a graphic that kind of shows some of how those two will relate to each other and what the crossover will be in terms of units that you can use in one and the other. And
I think
that will help.
It is worth noting, even before we get to that spotlight in the campaign, for anybody who's curious, the bulk of the units you get in Remastered you can sub into Victorum. So, all those, just gladiatorial units, the basic units, you can throw those in. You can use them to make it a richer, more varied experience.
Yep.
So, will I be able to use my alloy dice with the new game? Yes, absolutely. So, the core of the dice for Hoplomachus is all about special collection of dice, or each gladiator will use one of these and one of these. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with our game, so these dice just have a number of H's on sides, and they're very simple actually, but they're pretty clever in that when you roll them, you have a chance, a small chance of landing both H's or blanks or one and not the other. So alloy dice will still achieve that. I'm not sure where the dice colors will land at exactly, but
yeah, we're going to try to maintain colors as much as we can. They'll be a lot more muted, not quite so primary, and so again, bringing it into the world a little bit more. But as far as the dice sides and whatnot, that will not be changing. Mm-hmm. So the only thing that will be added is that red, like the red hit die. But we'll cover all of that in the future.
Yeah. What exactly is remastered?
Okay.
And I think we, as you mentioned, we're going to get to a spotlight that really goes through that with a fine-tooth comb. I think from a surface level, the easiest way to think of it is all the previous Hoplomachus line minus Origins kind of trimmed and cultivated, streamlined and polished in one box.
Yep, that's good. That's good. And Origins, much of Origins exists in Victorum. I mean, that's probably the cleanest way to divvy those up. Like a lot of the Origins content, obviously the inspiration for the mats and the arenas is like very akin to what you know from Origins. So
planning on picking up the remastered version primarily for the PvP aspect. I saw that Victorum can be combined with the remastered version. Will it offer much or anything toward the PvP side of things when combined?
I'll chime in here. So if you're planning on playing PvP, you start with the remastered. Victorum has, I believe it's somewhere in the 60. I have to do my math again. Number of gladiators that are absolutely on par with each of the remastered gladiators too. So they're all balanced in that way. In fact, all the gladiators that appear in Victorum are different than the ones that appear in Remastered. That's very important. So absolutely, when you choose a faction to play as PvP, if you want to play as New Argo, you're going to have access to those 6 extra chips, and you'll be fine-tuning your roster and playing with 15 specific chips out of that larger pool of chips that you have to pick from.
Yep.
So all of that will be PvP. And one thing that we will probably talk about later on as well is the ability to develop your hero. And if you're playing solo, with Victorum, you get to the end, you're going to have a staple of gladiators and tactics, and your hero will be developed. It's going to be very much on par with the heroes that are provided for you in Remastered. So all of that will be able to be ported over, and you can test that roster against another player who also developed their hero, or they can just pick a champion. And so that's really cool too. So very much Victorum is a great add-on for Remastered.
Well, I think even hand in hand with that, you've got all these individual arenas, and while they were designed for the solo play of Victorum, it's very easy to just split it out and play PvP on these different unique arenas with their different rule sets. They function very, very well as PvP mini games almost.
Yeah, much like Origins, how you had the counterpart as far as your deployment hexes. That's been maintained here, and so while this is the solo version of that, it's very intuitive in how you would bring out your gladiators in like a versus play or something like that.
Next up, did the old promo chips make it into the new game, or will they be remade?
Wow. I'll speak to that.
Okay.
So I want to open with, so Remastered, you're going to see some gladiators that are familiar, but a large part in trying to streamline things and make them compatible with Victorum, we really kind of played with those gladiators as well, the specials that we know. Some of the classics, like the Retiarius and the Brawler, may be making a reappearance. I'd have to check, but we have those skills. They're still there, but there's been a lot of work in the Remastered. It may not be terribly familiar. what was the question again?
Well, it was just
So-
the crowd favorite gladiators
Right.
of old, and just to put this in perspective, when we came out with original Hoplo, those gladiators, we were at a size where, I mean, it was like, hey, you know, we have people helping out at Gen Con, let's make them a gladiator. Let's do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Like, we had how many people? Three volunteers? And then, you know, as we grew throughout the years, it was like, oh, we have 25 volunteers. Can't make gladiators for each of them anymore.
Time for a whole expansion
Yeah,
box.
right. Right. And so, like, yeah, it just changed our ability, and so we had a flood of crowd favorite gladiators, so much so that we were kind of trying to come up with modes where you could just play with crowd favorite gladiators against each other and stuff like that. But it was very much a promo thing that
Yeah.
was like supposed to be individual.
Yeah.
We didn't realize how many people were going to actually try to collect all of them, and
Sure.
so it's not to say that we wouldn't do something in that vein in a new way, but yeah,
Those specific
those
ones.
are for that game, and we're not necessarily porting over every single crowd favorite gladiator we made into any of this
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they are collector's items, so just watch those
That's
prices
for
go up
sure.
on eBay and keep them
Exactly.
handy. Any unlocks that might improve the paper tracking sheets?
So improve it from what we have here. This has definitely gone through a few iterations already. I think that it's not beyond us, you know, looking at upgrading again. But certainly right now we're liking where it's sitting, just because you know, this is meant to be done over a certain amount of acts.
Yep.
And so having that kind of a tracking system where it's written is almost absolutely
I know we
necessary.
talked about this a little bit a couple of CTG TVs ago, but just to kind of
Sure.
reiterate what we said then, we did go through, we tried all the options that you may be thinking of now. We talked about dry erase,
Yep.
we talked about digital versions,
Yep.
and ultimately this was the cleanest.
Yep.
It was the easiest to use, and it also kind of steered into that narrative aspect we really wanted. With dry erase, you play the game and then it's gone. You wipe it off.
Right.
There's no record of that. Part of the feel here is you have this epic journey that you can go back and you can look at and go, oh, well, I ended with this, and kind of what
Yep.
Adam was talking about being able to take that and take your hero, you know, maybe take your squad into another game. Like, this is
Yeah.
your record of that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
where the game has developed, where we're at right now, this has been the best solution so far.
Yep. And I would say that it's going to be easy to support this with an app in the future.
Yeah.
It's just not the first way, you know, that we're developing it. So, great question.
All right, and looks like our last question for the moment, will new alloy dice be made?
TBD on that. Right now, they're not part of any add-on for the campaign. They're a very expensive piece, as many people probably know, to produce. And usually when we do that, we kind of go as far as we can with it. And so it ends up being kind of a loss leader for us. It doesn't mean we wouldn't consider it. It's just with what we're trying to pack into the game, for the campaign at least, it felt a little too ambitious to also be doing something that would not really be making any kind of profit for us.
Especially waiting to see what the
because we
response
wanted,
was.
yeah, any extra funds that we felt like were something we could work with, we wanted to put into the base game. So
So I think what that means is keep asking.
yeah, keep at.
Yep, so it's absolutely on our short list
Yep,
of
yep.
potentially things to come.
Yep, it's a cool
Yep.
piece. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, I believe that is all the questions we have for right now.
Cool. Well, are you going to take them through a little bit? Is that what's next?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll let you guys go,
All right.
and I appreciate you guys joining me for the welcome,
You
and
bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you,
check guys
everybody.
out. All right.
Thanks, everyone.
So we're still live. Just checking my cameras here. All right. So I've sort of set it up, and I confess I jumped ahead and went through Act 1 already on my own last week because I was so excited. So right now, where I've left off is Decimus. So,
Audio just went down.
Yes.
You're good. Oh, okay, we're good. Sorry.
are we up and running? How much have we lost?
Could you go ahead and start explaining your characters over again?
Okay, so, yeah. So, discussing Primuses and heroes. So, the game comes with 7, 1 from each region, right? And I get to choose one for a hero. I've chosen Bingchen. And the other heroes suddenly become Primuses, and everybody has the same goal in mind to pursue the scion of Pluto. So I'm going to put them over here. Throughout the game setup, I picked Kraken Lance, whom I just defeated, and now I have Decimus in the Prothean. So for Act number 2, I'm going to be finding myself traveling to, we've got New Argonauts right here, and then the Prothean is over here. Now this node right here, you see this color, is the Primus location. So I'll have to find myself at that location at the end of the act. Now an act takes 12 weeks. And yeah, so that'll be Act 2, and then Act 3 will be taking out the other, and the 4th and final act is, of course, the Scion. So you'll read about the Scions down below on the Kickstarter page. I won't get into that just yet. We have a spotlight coming up highlighting the Scions. So today, what I wanted to do is kind of dive in and start playing. I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing, hopefully with some clever camera work. You'll be able to follow along. So, let's see here. Bingchen, I just finished my battle with Kraken Lance and survived. I lost a couple of units. Now, the battles with the Primus are lethal fights. So, I lost a couple units, and now they're all in the bag. I'm going to give you a snapshot of what's in my bag right now. This bag is filled with gladiators and other chips as I continue my campaign. So you'll see some local gladiators from different regions. They're in here because I've passed through that region, and I may have recruited it, or it may have gone to the bag. By the way, I'm using the bag that we are offering on Kickstarter. This is actually the Burn Cycle bag, so I'm cheating. But we're making the same bag for Victorum, and it's going to be a chip bag, and it's very, very important. Okay, so there are a couple of black chips as well. These black chips are Banes. I think we'll cover Banes in the spotlight coming up. But Banes are bad things that will happen. So as you kind of progress, and depending on your decision-making process, you may end up having to get Banes that will end up being fed into the bag, which will progressively make your game a little bit more difficult as we go. So I'll discuss the Banes if we end up drawing one. Anyways, so this is the chip bag here. Alright, so I'm going to bring you to my map here. So right now, start of Act 2, I'm at the Primus location because I just defeated Kraken Lance. So I've got 3 options in terms of travel, and they're all sport icons. So we're going to go ahead and move on up here, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we go. But being that I am still in the Atlantean region, the arena stays with Atlantis, and then so I'm going to go ahead and set up. Right. Actually, so the first thing I do is I draw the sport event card. Alright, and I'm going to take a look at it. Again, the symbols match, so this is my sport pile here. Okay, so burning of the shaft. Before combat, sacrifice a unit, recruit a random unit from the bag, and then you'll see 2 lineups essentially. The top lineup is the opposing player, the enemy. So the icon L tells me that they need to get a local gladiator plus 2 gladiators from the bag and tactic. I'm just kind of sizing up how difficult this fight will be. And then the bottom is the allowance of how many gladiators I have. So I may use a hero and up to 3 other gladiators. Obviously, I don't even have a roster that big, but I still think I might be able to pull this off. Just underneath the title, sport events are largely Capture the Flag or King of the Hill style. And both icons are here, which leaves the choice to me. I'm going to go ahead and do let's do a Capture the Flag. I'm feeling good because I have a tactician here with 3 movement. I think this would be good. Okay, so I've chosen to accept the event. If I chose to spectate, other things will happen. We'll cover that when I get to an event that I want to spectate. But right now, I've accepted the event, so I'm going to start setting them up. So the first thing I do is I grab a unit from the local area, and if you look at my stadium seating here, there are still 2 Atlantean gladiators available to be contributing to the events. So the first unit is the local gladiator. By the way, everything you see here is prototype. There will be art coming soon for nearly all of the gladiators, but all of the other details are there. So it's a Retiarius unit. This icon over here on the right side tells me it's a tactician. Alright, so that's the first, and then now I draw 2 units from the bag to fill out the rest of the lineup. And here we go. The first one is another tactician, meteor fighter. And then the last gladiator is an archer. Now the white chip is a neutral gladiator. So when I started my campaign in Act 1, there's a lot of neutral gladiators that are a part of your roster as well as in the bag. They're a little bit weaker than the regional gladiators, so I like to see the neutral gladiators come up for the AI. And they also get a tactic. So the T is aligned with the 3rd unit. Now, using this little reference sheet here tells me what exactly I need to do to give them the tactic and when it's being played for me. This is kind of a quick reference. I have a few of those that I'll be showing you. Being that this was an archer, so I need to grab the bolster health chip. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. And I place the bolster health along with the 3rd gladiator over here on the roster. Alright? Now when it comes time, bolster health will be applied to their weakest ally. So I'll just leave that here to remind myself for later. My event card is going to go here. So before combat, sacrifice a unit and recruit a random unit from the bag. So I'm going to sacrifice a unit. I've got Cestus and Retiarius. I can't sacrifice my hero, obviously. I like Retiarius for playing in the Atlantean arena because he has that little bit of an advantage. We'll cover that shortly. So I'm going to keep him. I'm going to sacrifice the Cestus in the bag, and now I'm going to grab a random gladiator. I have a tactician, neutral. This could be very interesting. I'm very nervous right now, but I love it. So it's going to be a close fight. So now we go to the next step, which is really setting up the board. I'm going to put this Atlantean card right here. So all of the arenas have their own reference sheet, which will sit here as a reminder. So taking you through that, there's going to be a small set of specific rules just for that arena. The trident throw talks about how this chip will be picked up and thrown and used as an alt attack, both for you and the AI. We've got armed covers that. Strength of the Sea is the local unit bonus. So if a local unit, so that's the blue chips, if they end up using the trident, it's +1 damage when they throw it. Instead of 2, it's 3. And then King of the Hill rules. If you're starting a turn with the trident in hand, you get a point for the King of the Hill. But we're not playing King of the Hill. We're playing Capture the Flag. And then we've got mark and target for all of the units. I'll walk you through it as we get there. Arena setup. Here we go. Center hex is the Atlas's altar. So I'm going to place that there at the start of combat. We'll move this back over here. The flag. Here's the flag chip. Flag goes on the opposing deployment hex number 1. I'm going to place that there. And this is my side over here, as referenced by the icon. So, my goal is to come over here with a unit, pick up the flag, bring it back here. Sounds super, super simple, but there's a whole lot of activity going on, and one of the most important details in sport events is you must succeed in completing your objective without losing all of your gladiators, but also without defeating theirs. And any health that I lose as a hero will be lost until I can recover it in a later event or by spectating. All right, so let me just bring you over to here. So one of the things I wanted to show you is this little reference guide right here. So this covers the scaling of the acts. We've got Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, covers the Primus fights. The detail I want to direct you to here is the +1 gladiator at the end of lineup. So this is a new thing now. Going from Act 1, I was following the roster as written on the card. So now, today, all of the events I choose to do, I will be adding yet another gladiator to their roster. And they will get a Kunlun crossbowman added to the 4th spot there. All of a sudden, I'm really nervous about completing this objective. But, so I've completed that little bit right there. So I'm going to bring you over to this bit. This is another reference sheet. So this walks me through the phases, right? So I did the travel phase. The event phase tells me to accept the event, right? Okay, so now the combat sequence, as laid out, they will deploy a gladiator, and then we'll check for a tactic to play. I'll walk you through how exactly that happens, but right now, for the first couple of turns, they don't play a tactic. So they'll be deploying a gladiator. I'm going to move that over there. So, as you can see, the 3 health, 3 movement, 1 attack range. This is the first deployment position. So they will actually deploy right on top there. And they don't pick up the flag, but they will interact with the staff here, the trident. Alright, now, being that it is a tactician, it will have a mark of an unequipped trident. So tacticians, when they deploy, they can move the first turn they come into play. So this guy will be coming over here and automatically equipping the trident. And he's just going to sit and wait to throw it at me next turn. So already I'm thinking, yes. So we've done deploy, we've done movement, abilities. This guy has a hook ability, and there's a specific way in which it triggers. So I've got a unit skill sheet right here. I'll just lay it here for now. So this is the exhaustive list of all the units, and in the red is their triggers. If they're optional, there's AI triggers. So specifically for hook, it'll trigger if hooking the unit inward would result in an additional attack. And in this case, no. But there's no unit for them to attack anyway. So, now I go to my turn. I need to figure out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to obviously play with all of my gladiators. The cool thing is this isn't treated like a lineup as the AI is. So there's a static lineup. For me, I get to maybe react, figure out what I'm going to do here. I'm going to go ahead and give these guys some health, because I know I'm going to put them out very soon here. So if I bring out any of these guys, they're going to get the trident thrown at them and be defeated. I need to bring Bing Ching out. And I have 8 health, but that's going to go fast. So we'll see how this goes. So Bing Ching is a defender. Now I have my hero sheet right here. I'm going to bring it into this camera again. Alright, so we're going to kind of go over what's going on with Bing Ching. So through Act 1, I was able to make some improvements. So Bing Ching, I was able to increase her health from 6 up to 8. Her capacity, her leadership, up to 6. So that means I can have 6 units here, including Bing Ching. Here's her attack dice. She started with a green-yellow. I was able to improve the yellow to a blue, and I added another yellow die. And so those are the 2 improvements I made there. And by the way, upon accepting this event, I have to record a week before I move into combat sequence. So I'm going to just put an X there on Act 2. I'm in week 1 of Act 2. Alright, so I'm just going to put this back over there. So this is the reminder that Bing Ching's defender, and also have the ability of hurl. So hurl allows me to pick up a unit adjacent to me and place it in a different hex adjacent to me. units when they're first deployed can't move or attack, generally speaking. Alright, so Bing Shing's done. We're going to move to the AI Meteor Fighter. I'm going to go a little bit more quickly now. Okay, Meteor Fighter is a tactician. The Retiarius will move adjacent to me. Meteor Fighter will also move adjacent to me, but he can't attack. Abilities are not triggering, and now we have this one being able to attack. The Trident throw will trigger because he has the Trident, so he's going to throw the Trident at Bing Shing, and because it's an Atlantean unit, I take 3 damage, but now I automatically equip the spear, so now I have the ability to throw it when I need to. Alright, that hurt. I'm up. I'm going to run the, let's run the Retiarius of my own. I'm going to deploy it here. So I've got those 3 deployment hexes, as you can see the icon. Move phase. Let's see, they have an archer that's moving. I don't like this. So I'll run that up there. We'll see how that goes. This is, no. Lots of things are going through my mind. I'm thinking about their archer. When deployed, it's going to be able to fire the first turn it comes into play. So I'm trying to stay out of this firing range for now. But ultimately, I need to get onto that spot, which the archer will be going on shortly. Bing Shing, I want to get her into position for a little bit more. Let's try that. Alright, so Bing Shing can attack. This one, my unit cannot. So Bing Shing, I'm just going to slant these so you know whose is whose. So you can see the health chips. Alright, so Bing Shing has a green, yellow, and blue attack die. Finally, we got some rolling going on here. Before I attack, I have the option of doing a hook or a hurl. I'm thinking I don't need to do either of those. The Trident I'm going to keep because if I throw it, the AI will want to pick it up and use it against me again. So I'm going to go ahead and attack the Meteor Fighter. Now, Meteor Fighter has an innate dodge. So I'm going to quick bring this up, kind of take a look at it. So dodge says, all basic attack dice rolled against this unit are converted to blue. Interesting, interesting. That could have worked out to my favor if I had a bunch of yellow dice, but I would say it's a neutral move here. So the green turns to a blue, but the yellow gets changed to a blue. So I'm still looking at rolling an average of 1.5. I'm hoping 2. So we're going to go ahead and roll that. Awesome. Blanks. Alright. So that wasn't good. Their turn. Archer comes out. I'm giving it 2 health. Deploys on hex number 1 again. Movement phase. These 2 can still move. Archer can't move. So now we're talking about marks, right? So their mark, because the Trident is equipped, their mark is simply the closest, weakest opposing unit. So in this case, Meteor Fighter's mark is Bing Shing. Retiarius' mark is my Retiarius unit. So, Meteor Fighter to Bing Shing, we're going to go ahead and roll. Of course, there's 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. So, that makes me nervous. Bing Shing now has 2 health, just like that. Retiarius unit attacks this one. You can see it's a red die. So this is the new dice that we're talking about here. So this die actually has 6 aces on it. But the reason why it's significant is when facing against units like dodge, it would actually be converted to a blue die. So it's important to reference this as an actual die. But ultimately the result will be the same. Retiarius attacks for 1 damage. We're going to put that over there for now. And this unit will, so archers, as referenced by the icon there, show, and I'm just going to bring this back one more time. So the first strike, this unit can attack the turn it is deployed, but it has an attack range of 2. So fortunately, and I planned this, I'm out of range. I'm very nervous about what's going to happen now. Crossbowman is coming. This is just not a good situation for me. So we're going to show you right out of the gates a very important part of the game, and that's called surrender. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my hands up, and I got to be done. I can't complete this because I could probably keep going because the sport event. Yeah, let's just see what the next turn brings. If I lose these guys in a sport event, they will come back. But I'm more worried about Bing Shing. I don't need to surrender until the moment I know before the attack dice are rolled. So let's deploy Tactician there. I like the stun. Okay, I've got a plan. I'm playing the stun on the meteor fighter, so that will render it so it can't move or attack or use skills on its next turn. Bing Shing's going to move up here. Retiarius moves up there. This Tactician, I'm going to move it there. No, I'll leave it there. This guy's going to serve as bait for me to keep these guys in place. But I would like to pull this unit inward with the hook to there. Alright, so now we're going to transition to an attack phase. Bing Shing attacks the archer for green, blue, yellow. Just 1. Retiarius will attack the archer. And I've defeated it. Face down units, or defeated units, will go back to their camp. So for the AI, I'll just put it there for now. Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to pay attention to all the things to make sure I don't make any mistakes here. There's a little bit involved. So, okay. They both attack. This guy can't attack first turn it comes into play. Alright, now it's their turn. They're going to play the crossbowman. 1, 2, 3. Crossbowman is deployed in hex number 1. Now I just realized also the bolster health chip underneath here. It wasn't over here. I was thinking it was underneath the 4th chip. But the bolster health was supposed to be played on the last turn, and ultimately it would have gone on the weakest ally. Now weakest means in terms of health chips, so that bolster health, I would have had the choice of putting it on the archer or on this unit here, and I would have chosen this unit, so I'm just going to go ahead and process that. The bolster health tactic goes away. It's only a one-time use chip. Alright, so that unit is still stunned. Now, start of their turn, they deploy the crossbowman. This unit's stunned. They've also got the Retiarius unit. So let's see how it goes. I'm going to need to get a little lucky here. So the good news is he's not moving because he's adjacent. Not moving, he's stunned, can't move. Now, abilities, the hook won't trigger. Again, stunned. The dig in is innate. So I'll check that here. If this unit did not move this turn, add black to its basic attack. So, ouch. So in addition to green, the crossbowman will get a black because of the innate. It didn't move this turn. It was just deployed. Kind of works out to its benefit. It's great right out of the gate, but if I can get it to move, I can weaken it. So, alright, so we're going to start with this Retiarius attacking the Tactician for 1. I still have 1 health. Now we have Stun, can't attack, Crossbowman. We'll roll these 2. Now it targets the closest weakest. Great news for me is both of these have 2 health, and so in terms of closest weakest, dealing the tiebreaker is up to me. And so I will be making sure that I draw the fire with the Retiarius unit. And it's a hit for just 1. Very lucky there. Alright. So now I need to figure this out. My turn. I have no chips to play. I'm transitioning right into the movement phase. By the way, at the start of my turn, the stun is no longer available. That will get put away back into the pool. So now they have 3 units that are really doing well. My problem is I have to take a turn to remove this, another turn to pick it up. So I need 4 more turns, and I'm just not seeing how I'm going to survive this. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. Alright. Move. Move. Benching will stay put. I'll have Benching. I'm going to use the hook for the meteor fighter. I'm going to hook it in to here. Alright, we're going to open with the attack. Benching, 2 crossbowmen. Just 1. This tactician will attack for 1. And this Retiarius will attack for 1. So I've defeated their crossbowmen. I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. But I simply don't have very much health. Their turn. Movement. So this guy will stay put because he's adjacent. This one will move to the closest weakest. And then we transition to abilities. Nothing. Attack. So now here's where it gets really clever, and I can use this to my advantage. So this one has 1 attack option. This one has 2. But if I use this unit to attack that tactician, he no longer has a target. So I'm going to definitely do that. So Meteor Fighter will attack the tactician. Takes it out. My tactician's down, so I place it face down over here in my camp. Now Retiarius can't attack. It has no attack anymore. So their turn is over. Back to me. So I will be picking up the flag. And that. Perfect. No abilities. Let's go for okay. Retiarius to Retiarius for 1. Alright. Here we go. These 2 move, but they don't move. They're closest to their adjacent unit. And then we're going to do the same drill. It's a blank, and then the Retiarius will most definitely hit. So I'm gone with that one. So now I need to figure out if I can get here and then here. I can survive. This puts me in a bind. I just need one more hit point. I'll show you my strategy here. So if I go there, I'll attack 1, 2. This is a very, 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 very good fight, guys. So, 2 health plus spear. Unfortunately, Meteor Fighter has 4 health, but that doesn't matter. I just need to survive the attack. And Meteor Fighter will be, with my 2 health, it's basically a coin flip on whether I survive this or not. Now, if I decide to allow them to move, and by the way, that's their movement phase, I'm going to move them, and then they will attack. So, essentially, if they land 2 H's, my hero is defeated, and I can't allow that to happen. So, if I had just 1 more health chip, I would have been able to complete this successfully. So we're going to surrender. We're going to surrender. Very, very close. So surrendering, let's just show you how it works. So I'm going to take the health of the unit, of the hero, and I'm going to bring it over here. So now my hero is over there with the same number of health. Meteor Fighter's over there. So I'm just going to reset the board a little bit here. So now what happens is I am bringing my hero card here, and I have to mark another cyan point here. So last act, there were 5 acquired from spectating or surrendering. So now that it's on a crucial Bane chip, every 3rd cyan influence gives me a Bane chip. So I'll be putting that Bane chip inside. It's the top Bane chip from this tray here. So the Bane chip that's coming says add this bag, replace this Bane with a local unit instead of a bag unit, return. So now that's going to go in the bag for my, if I draw it in the future, it just makes the game a little bit more difficult. So fortunately I still have my 3 units here, and I just have to kind of recover from that. But that's the great news in this game, is that there's going to take a couple weeks just to kind of rebound and try again. So because I surrendered, I don't get any rewards. These 4 chips, including the local that just came out, the Retiarius, will be going into the bag. And now the event goes to the back here. Here we go, just like that. Alright, no big deal, no big deal. So now I'm looking ahead. Now as I travel, I can't go back to the previous location I was just at. So I'll be going forward, and you can see this icon here. This is a little skull here. That is a lethal event. So now I'm transitioning to a lethal event. I'm still here in the Atlantean arena. Alright, so let's just draw this lethal event here. It says suffer from my craft. Before combat, deal 1 damage to your hero for each die in their current attack. So if I were to choose to reset that event, I would actually take 3 damage, because this is the hero's basic attack dice. So I absolutely have to spectate this event. I can't even survive making my hero to the arena. So I will be spectating. So when you spectate, you no longer have to follow the instructions. You're simply cycling the event to the back. That's cool. No big deal, right? Now, the downside to spectating is it does add yet another cyan influence. Again, in the grand scheme of things, it's a small thing. Those cyan influences, the Bane chips, they slowly compound, and you'll see a gradual effect of increasing difficulty. But anyways, so when spectating, I have 2 options. I can either and by the way, spectating also records a week, so I'm just going to go ahead and write that down. So, I'm sorry, it does not. My bad, sorry. So, that's the other benefit of spectating, is if you're seeing your timing towards where you want to go to be a little off. Choose the longer path, and then you can spectate a couple of events and just cruise right into the Primus. Anyways, I can either draw one from the bag, or I can heal my hero to full. I'm choosing that one. So now I got my 6 hit points back for the hero for that spectate. Perfect. And now I'm moving right on to the next location. I can move over to the Lemos area. So that's a whole new arena for another lethal. Or I can come down here for a sport. I'm already kind of eyeing what I have for my roster. This will be interesting. This will be very interesting. Okay. Let's move over to Lemos. So now, flag goes away. I'm going to cycle this out. Now normally I would just flip the mat over because Lemos is on the back side. I'm pulling up one of my many arenas here. Lemos. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So this is in the Mayan Wall now. And I'm going to switch out the card for the Lemosian. I'm going to put this here so we can kind of go over it. So the key here is the peaks in the middle. If you can envision kind of a hill. The peaks serve as the king of the hill aspect of it, but there's a secondary benefit. If your unit is elevated, you get to add a black attack die if you're attacking a unit in a lower elevation than you are. So it's all about gaining the higher position in this one. We don't need to cover King of the Hill. There's definitely not that. I forgot to draw this, so I wanted to show you. By the way, these cards are face up, so I can see what kind of events are happening around me and kind of plan accordingly. I had spotted this card before I decided to give it a shot. So, Blood Feud, this could go either way, but it says select an unused enemy hero for the enemy lineup and remove from game after combat. So, enemy unused, so not the Primuses there, but these 3 Primuses that I didn't get to face. So I'll just pick one. Let's do Virago. So I select this instead of drawing from my bag. So this is their unit. And then I get to use up to 4. And again, now I've only got 3 units, so this is going to be very interesting. I am optimistic about this fight, though. I think with my numbers, I should be able to gain the upper position because I have hook and I have hurl, and I will make sure I try to keep her below me. Okay, so I'll put that there. Let's get started. They deploy first. So now it's a big unit. That's their only unit. Virago. Its mark will be there's no mark, so it'll stay there, but Archer doesn't move first turn. What should I do? With attack range of 2, she has 1 movement. I'd like to see myself getting the upper position with this unit right out of the gate. Perfect. Now it's her turn. Virago will move. Quick strike and deflect do not affect me at range, so that's good. She will move towards my hero, favoring a higher position according to this mark. Okay, my turn. Let's do the Batarius unit. So I'm going to move Bing Xiang. She will attack This is cool. So on this arena, the targets for all enemy units is the strongest closest gladiator. So this is both good and bad, but no matter how I try to position this, Bing Cheng is absolutely going to be the target whether I like it or not. So I will say I'm happy, but I'm very nervous as well. I'm just going to go ahead and move the Retiarius, the full 3 movement, up to this position, because he's not going to be targeted anyways. Their turn, Virago will move up. Let's review Virago's skills real quick. So quick strike and deflect. Virago, quick strike when targeted with a basic attack, deal attacking unit 1 damage before the attack. And the other one, deflect, is this unit may only be attacked once per turn. Ouch! So I won't be able to position and attack with 2 units. That's rough. Alright? So Virago will attack, and it checks the units in range. Strongest unit is Bing Cheng. Virago's attack is black and green. These two, this is an important detail, but these two are on the same plane, because this is think of it as kind of a tapering mountain. So there's, if Virago was, if I was over here and Virago had 3 range, Virago would still get a black attack die advantage. Anyways, Virago to Bing Cheng and hits for 1. My turn. I'm absolutely going to get the tactician in play. So here's where it gets interesting. This is absolutely a lethal fight. So each unit that I lose, will be gone. But because I don't want Bing Cheng really to take all that damage up front, I'm actually going to retreat and allow Retiarius to do the work. But in order to prevent Virago from climbing up, I'm bringing the tactician 3 movement to there. I'm going to slide Bing Cheng back by 1. Only 1 unit can attack anyways because of deflect. So Retiarius will attack Virago. Great news. I gain a black attack die for elevation advantage. And it's hit for 2. But before I was able to apply that, the deflect did 1 damage to the Retiarius. So 1 damage, then 2 from that unit. Ouch! Alright, Virago's turn. Virago is not moving, will attack. So I have a choice between these 2. They are both 2 health. It will attack the strongest, so let's go for it. Let's allow Virago to attack that unit. I'm hoping for a miss here, but it's a black and green. Yes! Alright, so only 1 damage there. So now I think I'm in good shape. I'm not going to move any units. We're going to go for the Retiarius again, attacking Virago. The deflect is just brutal. So that's 1 gone there. Black and red. I missed on the black. Are you kidding me? Alright. Virago will attack. Tactician again. Black and green. It's a hit. Now this unit is flipped face down right here. After we process the event though, this neutral unit will be going to the bag because it's a lethal fight. But I'm leaving it here to show that I've used this many units for this combat. So this is not good at all. Moving Bing Cheng up, I'm going to attack. Bing Cheng has, so fortunately Bing Cheng's got some attack dice here. So black, green, blue, yellow. the blockers in addition with the advantage, the elevation advantage. But before I can apply anything, quick strike hurts me for 1. We need a big hit here. We got 2, not ideal. Virago has 3 health. Alright. Virago's move, not moving, attack. For 1. Okay, I'm liking my odds now. Here we go. I'm leaving the Retiarius there because it's super important. Number 1, that unit stays alive, so I have it for the future. But number 2, it's blocking that very important position I don't want Virago to get up onto. So let's keep this going. Bing Shing will attack. Quick strike. And still only 2. I'm telling you folks, close fight. Virago, same drill for 1. And then we'll wrap it up. Bing Shing, quick strike. I'm down to 2. Bing Shing will attack Virago. I just need 1 hit. Oh, now I hit 4. Alright, so Virago's gone. Great news. We just successfully completed a lethal fight. This is very good. Alright, so after combat, Virago's got to go back to the box as described on the Blood Feud card. So let's talk about rewards. So we're going to move Bing Shing along with Bing Shing's health back here. The Retiarius will come back here. It'll get full health next fight. This neutral unit, however, was defeated in lethal combat. It will go in the bag. So now I'm down to 2. So you can see the struggle of trying to maintain a roster. That's where the sport events come into play. So I need to keep doing sport events. I probably should not have gone for this. If I had another gladiator, I might have been able to save him. Anyways, very cool. The rewards. I'm bringing up this reference sheet. Let's zoom in here. So, lethal event success. So, this is where I get to take Bing Shing. And I can add another health to current and max health to make it 9. The capacity, this is the leadership. So I don't need 7 leadership right now. I'm struggling to have as many gladiators as it is. Or I could upgrade an attack die or add a 4th attack die, which is the max. That's tempting too. I'm liking Bing Shing's strength. Let's do some health. So now Bing Shing's max health is 9. So when I spectate and I heal up, I'm going to have some health there too. Yeah. I give myself 1 though for the reward. Alright. And that was it. Cleanup phase is done. We're ready to take a look at the map again. So that was Act 2. That was the second week. Right. So the first one was a sport combat, surrender, spectate, and then lethal. So now, continuing my path, I have to move down to this icon here, which is an opportunity. That's not bad. I like opportunities. Opportunities are not fights. Let's move down here. We're going to take a look at this opportunity. Now, if I choose to accept the opportunity card, it will come over here. Take a look over here. I already have an opportunity card. This says, let me just bring it up here so we can zoom in and read it. So this is the one I currently have. It says, win a capture the flag event without moving the flag holder more than 1 hex per turn. The reward is a hero prowess. That's where this these skills that are exclusive just for these heroes are. So I haven't been able to use that yet. When that opportunity comes, I'll walk you through that. But anyways, so I haven't been able to complete that. I'm holding on to it. You can carry as many opportunities as you want, but the downside is accepting an opportunity takes a week. So this one, hubris, add 1 to the enemy lineup before a lethal event. win the event without losing any units. Ouch! Ouch, 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 ouch. This will be an event I choose to spectate. So I will not accept this. This is something I don't... If I accepted it, I can hang on to it for a while, and ultimately it would probably help me. But I'm not accepting it. I need to heal up my hero, first and foremost. Get back to now 9 health. So I have 3, I get 6 more. That's the most important detail. So spectating, now I'm moving down to the sport event here. Alright. So, sport event, I'm looking at it. Pluto's emissary. So instead of a local unit, start the enemy lineup with a Vesuvian unit if possible. Shoot. I really like this event. The Vesuvian units, I'm going to just kind of show you what's coming up here. So, again, a unit from another region. So this one is exclusive to the Vesuvius region, and they function a little differently. These guys go straight for your hero, which makes it exciting. But I need to rebuild, and I need to do it safely. If I completed this event successfully, I would be able to recruit, and I would be able to recruit the Vesuvian unit, which kills me. But I need to choose my second spectate option. So spectate again, and I get to recruit a unit from the bag. So essentially I'm taking the time to find something to rebuild. So the Bane, that doesn't count, and yes, okay, so I got a Harpoonsman. So now my roster's starting to grow a little bit. Before I finish that spectate though, I get another Scion influence. So if I spectate one more time or surrender an event, Scion influence goes up to the 3rd tick again, adding another Bane to the bag. Fortunately, we haven't drawn one yet. Alright, here we go. So I spectated. I'm moving to... Let's move up to the Mosian region again. Sport. Alright. Ring of Mortality. So I'm already thinking I could spectate to recruit another unit to the bag. This one says, ignore attack upgrades for your hero. That's brutal. This icon here, so it's a little bit more uncommon, but for a sport event, this is called a spar. So it actually functions very much like a lethal event. So it's just to the last gladiator standing, defeating the other lineup. Tempting. I've only got 3, but again, I've got some good displacement with the hook and the Harpoonsman. I can attack for 3 range, which is exciting. I'm just feeling confident that I have some good displacement units, that this arena is very suitable for the roster that I have. So I'm very glad that I ended up in the Lemosian area. That's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and take the sport on. Now, the reason why I wouldn't spectate it is because of that Bane chip, but also the recruitment, I'm in control of it. I will be able to recruit the Lemosian unit. Alright, so Lemos are yellow, so Nakam. So this unit has a swap. 5 health, defender, love defenders. We'll kind of show you how the defenders, we haven't really had an opportunity to show you defender and attacker skills yet, but we'll get into that probably this fight. So Nakam is the first unit. Here we go, I've accepted the event. I want to make sure I record the week. So this is week 3 of Act 2. Nakam. 2 more gladiators plus a tactic, and then because I'm in Act 2 there will be another gladiator. Here we go. Atlantean unit, Retiarius with the hook. Ooh. And then Retiarius is a tactician, so it will gain, according to this reference sheet, the hamstring tactic. And I will remember to play the hamstring this time. You guys help me out here. So, okay. Gladiator number 3 is a Harpoonsman. I'm not liking that. And then, as a reminder, here, the Act 2 modifier +1 to end of lineup. So, I'm just thinking here. Yeah. Okay. I drew a Bane. Alright. Divine Power. Add 2 HP to the first enemy unit deployed. I put that there as a reminder. So Nikon now has 7 health. Along with the swap. This is already getting pretty ugly. And I still have to draw yet another chip for the 4th Gladiator. Perfect. Alright. So now, here we go. Here we go. Let's get started. Nikon is deployed first with 5, 6, 7 health. I'm going to flip this over to show that I've already used that Bane now. It goes in deployment hex number 1. Oh, I see. I flipped the AI and player deployment hexes. It's a symmetrical map though, it doesn't matter. But let me do it right this time. So we've got, they're going over here. My turn. Benching. I need to get her in position and start pummeling them. Alright. Their turn. Retiarius unit comes out. 1, 2, 3. Goes in position number 2. Now remember, this is a spar, so there's no king of the hill. It's not capture the flag. It's straight up defeat them. So this unit gets to move first turn. This unit can now move because it's no longer dazed. And so 1, 2, 3. And the ability would trigger if it could result in an attack, and it doesn't. But, sorry, before we move them though. So we're checking tactics. Because this chip is gone right here, we're taking a look below. Hamstring is playable. And then we check to see if there's a unit to play it on. And there is, in fact. Actually, so, yes. The tactics can not be played on heroes. So, it'll check to play hamstring next turn. Alright. Nakam, Retiarius. My turn. I get to pick. I'm going to use the Harpoonsman. Only 2 health. But what I like about the Harpoonsman is I can just stay in the back and kind of throw 3 attack range, green and blue. So that's good. Alright. So, Bingshen. Will what am I doing? I like this. I could potentially take advantage of the hill with some clever positioning here. Bingshen. Let me move Bingshen here actually. And then I'm going to hurl the Harpoonsman to this position. No. No. Bingshen's got to do this. I'm going to hurl the Retiarius up to this position. Alright. But I don't think that will really... It helps me with this attack, but they'll be able to get back up there in no time. Alright, let's attack. So the Harpoonsman will attack the Retiarius for a green-blue. Because archers can attack first turn with the first strike. We got 2. 1 health left. Bingshen will attack now. I have to remember, Ring of Mortality means I have to ignore attack upgrades on my hero. So I'm back to my starting dice. But the good news is, again, with the Lemosian area, I have the elevated attack. Units add black attack die if they're higher elevation. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I really just need to hit one. Seems I always roll well when they only have 1 health left. Alright, so Retiarius is down. I'm putting it there. It is their turn once again. Alright, so we'll take the first gladiator available here. They have a harpoonsman. It's coming out, and thankfully I'm not in range. Now we'll check the hamstring again to see if it can be played. Yes, there's one non-elite unit. They can play the hamstring on that. So now this unit can either move or attack on its turn, not both. So if I choose to move or use my movement with the harpoon, I won't be able to throw. So this is where I have to get maybe clever with the hook or potentially the hurl. Anyways, their turn still. So movement phase, we've got defender's going to move up, and then this guy can't move first turn. Attack phase, nothing's in range. My turn, I'm playing my last unit. Here we go, up there, good. So this could be interesting. I can get the Retiarius up here to block, which is my first instinct. I could put it here and pull or hook the harpoonsman and hurl the. That's too much work. But I still need to move the harpoonsman. So here we go. Bingshing, Retiarius. Harpoonsman's moving. And then now, abilities. So, this is clever. Hook, I can hook my own units, so I'm going to hook this in. And then, actually, I'm going to use Bingsheng to, well, I'll leave Harpoonsman back there because it can't attack this turn. But if I were able to hurl it up to here, and I can do, but Harpoonsman has hamstring, so, and this unit just deployed, so he can't attack. My one unit is going to attack. Again, basic attack dice only, plus elevation advantage. Bingsheng to Nakam. We got a big hit. This is huge. Very, very, very good. Alright, their turn. Last unit's coming out. It's a defender. Alright. Now, all enemy units. This unit will not move because it's within its attack range, and this unit will not, cannot move laterally. I don't get to move them laterally. It has to improve its position. Defender just came out, so it's dazed. Moving to the abilities phase. So this one has swap. Now we're going to take a look at that real quick. Two things to keep in mind. Here we go. So this unit may switch positions with an adjacent unit. For the AI, it will trigger if it would result in an additional attack. So the Harpoonsman's in range, Nakam's in range, so actually it will not swap in this particular instance. Nakam will attack Bingsheng for 1. The Harpoonsman will attack. It will, I'm sorry. Yeah, they always target the strongest. So that's why Bingsheng is vulnerable up there. So Harpoonsman will attack. Here we go. For 2. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Now remember, all the health I'm losing from the hero is permanent until I somehow get it back. Spectating, most likely. So that was not good. I really wish I did not lose any health from that unit because I was in such good shape, and all for a sport event, because these guys I can sacrifice them without really any effects. So the question for me now, start of my turn, do I leave Bing Sheng there? Do I move Bing Sheng? Yeah. Let's move the Retiarius up. Harpoonsman, no. Alright, I'm going to leave Bing Sheng there. End of my move phase. We go to the abilities. So Bing Sheng will hurl Harpoonsman up. This does not count as his movement. So even though I'm hamstrung, I still get to attack. So that's pretty clever. Now the Harpoonsman is in good shape, in range of these two, so I have options. So let's start attacking. We've got the basic attack dice plus the modifier on knock-on. 1, 2. So now I like to protect Bing Sheng. I like the idea of using the Harpoonsman on knock-on. So that'll be these 3 dice because I still get an elevation advantage. I need 2 hits. I got it. Knock-on's down. Alright, and now my last unit will attack. Retiarius will take the Harpoonsman. So I've got the red attack die, plus now the elevation advantage there. So Harpoonsman is down as well. This is turning out good, guys. Their turn, defender will try to gain a higher position and attack. With a black die. And now, my turn again. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to move this one there. So I'm going to leave Bing Sheng there. Now Bing Sheng is a defender unit, which means if I were to move Bing Sheng adjacent and was unable to take out the defender, this is an important detail. The defenders have the taunt. So enemies adjacent to this unit can only attack a defender. So even if I wasn't the strongest, it's not a player's choice anymore either. So Bing Sheng is scary and helpful, being that defender designation, but I have to be very careful who I move adjacent to because she will draw fire from the taunt. Alright, so she stays there. Let's finish this up here. We've got just 1 from that. Harpoonsman, 2 more. So, yep. The defender will take their turn. They're going to continue to try and move and improve their position, as noted, on the enemy mark. And then 1 more damage to that. And then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I'll leave them there. And boom. Alright. So, sport event is over. Very important. I'm going to move my hero over here with the chips underneath it. I've got 6. Not bad. Harpoonsman will come back here. Retiarius will come back here. So now I put the stuff away. Hamstring back to the pool. I'm going to put the health chips away. Alright. So now these units are going to be flipped up in front of me as options. Again, I just want to follow. Let's reference this one more time for the sport event. Alright, so I can either take a gladiator from this lineup or I can take a tactic from the supply. Those tactics are super helpful, and spectating can get me a gladiator. However, the only way to get tactics right now is through a sporting event. That's tempting. Those tactics, well played, are super important. So I'm just looking ahead here. I'm thinking I'm going to go back to Atlantis for 1 more fight, and then I like Narcom. I like the swap. There's so much displacement. The Harpoonsman angle is very interesting. I need to look ahead and figure out where I'm going. if I do end up going to New Argo with that arena, just knowing how those fights will go, ranged units are very enticing because of the handcuff mechanic that you will see later on. So I'm going to stock up another archer. I'm going to grab the harpoonsman, put it over there. These 3 in the bag. The Bane also says return. It goes in the bag. So if I draw that again, the first unit's going to get plus 2 HP. This sport event is put back there. Alright. Wow, that's a lot of Atlantis units. Alright. Moving ahead. Back to Atlantis region. So again, I'll be able to just flip that mat over because Lamosa and Atlantis, the Atlantean arena, are very, they're on each other's backside. Okay, so sport event, I'm looking ahead. It says Battle of Many Nations. Alright, we have capture the flag or King of the Hill option. X is equal to the number of unique factions in your camp. I should have looked ahead. No! I was not thinking. Now, if I had looked ahead, and this is very important detail, is to have an eye on, the idea is to be aware of the competition that's going on around you. So I should have absolutely looked ahead at this, and then I would have probably taken that knock-on unit. So then allowing me to deploy or use 3 units for this fight. Now knowing this is only going to be 2, and I don't have to use the hero, that helps. But still, having to surrender or just lose the fight straight up cost me a Scion influence and a week. So I'm spectating. Now, putting that there, I'm going to bring this up again. So, spectating adds a Scion influence. That's the 3rd one again. Top Bane chip. All enemy units in this fight are treated as local. That goes in here. This is getting exciting. Now, my spectate reward is either the 2 health that I want for the defender, or I can draw another gladiator from the bag. I'll tell you what, I'm looking ahead now. I'm looking ahead at where I'm headed. I'm going to jump on the harbor and probably move over to Pluto's refugees. Looking at the map, there are some local sport events near that harbor. So I'm going to just keep an eye on here. Winds of Change. I like it. I like it. Okay. Increase line up by 2. Okay. So knowing what's coming up, I'm going to actually make sure I get all the health I need in my spectate. So we'll leave that there. I'm back up to 9. I lost 3 that other fight. That's right. Alright. So, here we go. That was a spectate. So now I'm hopping on the harbor, which is this little ship icon. Now, these are really cool. So when you want to travel across the world to different regions, because I can see these frontmost gladiators I might want to recruit. I like that unit. I might hop over to the Parthians and pick that up, or that unit. So there's a lot of flexibility in being able to customize your roster. However, it costs a week to use the harbor, and I can jump to any of the other 3 ships. So there's 4 harbors on this map. I'm actually just going to hop over to this one because that puts me at 4 weeks, and I need to be thinking ahead for my path to New Argo and making sure I do that within the remaining 8 weeks. So I jumped there. I just marked my week, and now I'm moving south to the Pluto's refugees region. We're going to grab that. This is a beautiful map. Again, everything is prototype and is still being worked on here. So this is Pluto's Refugees. Significant part about this one, let me just switch out this card here. I'm going to put this one down right here. Alright, so the 2 dark hexes are the beast cages. So Pluto's Refugees comes with 2 beast arena chips. And so these beasts will work in your favor or against you. They're kind of out of control in that way because they have special movement where the D6s will come into play and you'll be rolling and moving them. So I'm going to go ahead and put some health under there. It doesn't matter which color health chip because they may oppose the AI as well. So the beast will take a turn after mine, so it'll be AI, me, beasts. There are essentially 3 turns. And then the local units treat beasts as if... Perfect. Yeah, a non-local will not be moving adjacent to beasts for the AI. Perfect. Okay, so I'm done with that setup. We're at the sport event. Let's just move into that. And I think that this will be, I'll either finish this and one more, or just this one, and save the rest for Friday. But let's try out Pluto's Refugees. Winds of Change. I have options. Capture the Flag, King of the Hill, or Sparring. Interesting. I really want to show you Capture the Flag. However, my roster is just telling me to do the King of the Hill. I already showed you Capture the Flag, sort of. Let's do King of the Hill. So in this one, as laid out on the Pluto's Refugees reference sheet, these are essentially the hills. You can see the little icons there. So each time I start my turn on it, I will get a point. And King of the Hill is to 6. So if I'm occupying both, that's 2 points. So actually, I like King of the Hill for this one. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. So I'll take this die right here and kind of put it there to remind me. Here we go. I'm accepting this event. Alright. Now, additional text says, you may sacrifice an opportunity card you possess, increase your lineup by 2, and gain a tactic. Okay. So, lineup is Hero and Gladiator plus 2. I get to gain a tactic. For King of the Hill, I like Stun, I like Bolster Health. Hamstring is so nice. Maybe not for this arena. I want to make sure I do well for this fight. Adrenaline is awesome, especially if you're playing Capture the Flag. Bolster Health doesn't work on my hero. So it's important to note that if I try to do Bolster Health, it'll just be keeping those guys alive. Those beasts. I gotta do Stun. Okay, so I'm gonna put that, my tactic goes in my camp right there. Again, single use. But I had to sacrifice my opportunity card to do that. And I wanted to show you another prowess, but for the sake of winning this battle. So I had to discard which cost me a week to take, so this is no small decision. But now I'm super confident that I'm going to win this battle. And I'll be able to recruit a Pluto's Refugees unit. So I'm excited. I see what's coming up. Another defender of sorts. Okay, let's set up their lineup. Pluto's Refugees. You can see they're orange with that icon. First unit is the Ignean. Defender with Intercept Blow. So now, for those of you who are familiar with Hoplo, Intercept Blow works the same way, whereas it also has that taunt feature that all defenders have. So this is truly an iconic defender. Let's see. So that comes with a tactic. So I'm going to reference this little handy guide here. They get a stun. Ouch! I'm not looking forward to being stunned. Fortunately, he can't stun my hero. But when that happens, they are going to be stunning the strongest enemy, or my unit with the most HP. Okay, 2 more gladiators for them, +1 for the Act 2 modifier. Here we go. 1. Another Bane. Hometown Hero. Replace this Bane with the local unit instead of a bag unit. What? Okay. Local units are difficult because of their advantage, especially so. These beasts do not treat the local as opposing units. That's crazy. I'm not looking forward to that. Another Bane. Add 2 HP to the first enemy unit deployed. Another Bane. Are you kidding me? All units in this fight are treated as local. Might as well, right? So, this is highly unusual. I don't think I've ever, in my playtesting, been able to draw 3 Banes in a single lineup. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show you I can do it. So, all of a sudden, I was super confident, and now, not so. So, I'm going to go ahead and put the... Okay. I'm putting the 7 HP under there to remind me of the HP. Here we go. Perfect. They're all treated as local. So this has been done. This has been done. Perfect. Let's begin. They deploy. They can't play a stun because they're not adjacent to me. My turn. Again, I'm playing King of the Hill. I'm moving my die. There it is. Alright. Let's open with, I'm thinking because they're all local units and they won't help me defeat the beasts, I'm going to need to defeat the beast before they come my way and defeat me. So I'm going to go ahead and start right out of the gate with a harpoonsman. I know I'll lose them soon, but I need to maybe work the left side. The lion is stronger in terms of attack dice, but less HP. So harpoonsman gets to attack first turn it comes out. Let's do this. On the lion, 1 hit. I'll take it. I'll take it. Alright. I have to remember I have that stun. Their turn, defender comes out. That's a lot of health. I'm sorry. Before they do that, okay. So now, I want to bring this up again. So, after accepting the event, the AI gets their turn. I got mine over here, the arena. Arena-specific abilities and units activate now. So this is where this arena comes into play. The beasts will always be taking their turn after the player. Alright? So, here's where we're going to roll these dice. So this guy is going to be the red die, the white die. And then they move sort of as a compass. I think that icon is going to be placed right on this mat here. But, north being 1, this one will move to position 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this unit will move to position 5. They only move the 1 hex. So I'm going to go ahead and shift them. Now they have that combat lock. So if they engage me, I can't move. Alternatively, they are all of the Beastmaster, the local skill. So they don't combat lock. They don't. So this is going to be tough. They're up. They deploy. And because, yeah. So again, this Bane says that this is a Pluto's refugee and unit, according to the Lion. So, again, they're not going to interact. Movement. Moves closer to, so they'll be marking closest, weakest. So that's a little different than the Lemosian. So it's always something to keep an eye on strategically. I don't mind that. I almost like moving the tactician up, but he's just going to step there and attack me. I think it's time for Bing Sheng. Yep. Okay, harpoonsman, attack. Still doing the lion. Just for one. They deploy a Fury. Position 1 is available. Now it's a tactician, it can move 3. Has the swarm ability. Let's just check that quick. Swarm. Yeah, this is double-sided, by the way. A little bit more there. Alright. When this unit engages an enemy, all allies in play move 1 hex. Yikes! Especially on a tactician. He's not going to engage me this turn. That's good news. And fortunately, it being as crowded as it is, giving them an additional movement is not going to be too bad. But I'm also getting excited because I'd like to recruit that guy. Definitely. So, that's cool to see. Alright, so now it's movement phase. I can choose the order. It's interesting if I choose to move... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this defender will move to the closest weakest. And then this unit will move 1, 2, 3. It's only got one path. So it's going to move over this way. 1, 2, 3. It's important to note that when playing King of the Hill Capture the Flag, the objective is for you guys only. I'm the only one racing for this King of the Hill. The AI is just there to try and stop me. They're not actually getting points on the King of the Hill against me. Alright. Attack phase. Nothing. Did I take their turn? The beast turn? The beast turn. Red, white. It'll catch up here. 5. Now, deploy. Movement. Movement. And this unit... Oh. 1, 2, 2, 3. Okay. So that was bad. I had to take it back to take the beast turn. I've got my reference. I set it down here. I'm going to put it up here now. There we go. So the combat lock. Oh, and the combat lock. So this unit needs to attack before they move. Sorry, I'm getting so excited and ahead of myself here. So after the units, the beast move, then they attack. So we've got the tiger will attack. And again, weakest. So it didn't attack me, so no effect there. So we'll put them back now. The stun never got to apply because they weren't adjacent to me. The tactician. Miss. They deploy. The Fury is a tactician. And now, because it's a tactician, I'm checking the tactics here. So now the tactician, let's review that. Unit skills. So, in addition to being able to move the first turn it is deployed, the tactician has strategist. Tactics may be played on any unit in play. So, they no longer need to be adjacent. So the stun will absolutely come into play against the one non-elite opposing unit that's there. So, good news, bad news is I'm stunned, now I can't attack, but I may be able to, it may be better now rather than later. So now it's the movement. They can't attack because they treat these as, they don't target the beast. My turn. Again, I sacrifice an opportunity, so I get more units. Harpoonsman, this is going to hurt. There's just not a whole lot of... And of course, whatever I deploy there will be automatically combat locked. But I need to go ahead and try make something happen here. movement phase. He can't move. Stun. Let's start getting points for the King of the Hill. Still nothing until the start of my turn. But now that Bing Shing is there, I would love to attack the lion. The bad news is the defender is drawing the fire. So now the lion is going to be able to attack me. Brutal. Brutal. I need to attack the defender. I have my regular attack dice back, which is great. So that's these 3. So Bing Shing will attack the defender. Let's get something. 2. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay. The harpoonsman. I do have 4 options. This one is stunned. Can't attack. I'm almost thinking I would like to attack the Fury. One. Alright. Great. Beasts. So, combat lock, combat lock. I want to bring that back one more time to show. Units engaged with this unit have their movement reduced to 0. So, the beast will potentially move, but there will be combat lock and whatever, like they have the freedom, because there are no opposing units with combat lock, according to the beast. So again, red, 1, 2, 3, 4, he doesn't move. 2 is 1, 2, doesn't move. So they'll stay put. They will attack. So we have the lion attacking Bing Shing for 1. And then we have the tiger attacking its closest weakest. Stun went away. My choice. I'll have the tiger attack this one for 1. Okay, they're done. AI's turn. It's an attacker. It's an attacker. Ouch. Okay, so the attacker has dazed, won't move, defender won't move. Ignium will move to the closest weakest, which happens to be Bing Shing, so it's moving up there. Alright, so that's interesting. We're going to move to the attack phase. Fury to harpoonsman for 1. Ignium for 1. Defender for 1. This is not good. That really hurt. I love it. Okay, my turn. Guess what, folks? 1 point on King of the Hill so far now. I'm going to put that there to remind me. So I just need 5 more points to successfully complete this sport event. So exciting. I have 1 more unit I can deploy. I'm absolutely playing it. There's no risk. It's a matter of when. I like the hook, but it just won't be helpful. Ish. I like my stun. But what do I play it on? The good news is the attacker won't... Oh. Yeah, no, I'm okay. I need to save the stun for the attacker. There's a better time to play that. So let's just see how this plays out. Movement, combat locks, I can't move anything. Abilities, I have hurl, that's right. Ironically, hurl is not what I want. the attacker can move in there. So what I could do is a little trick of moving all the retiarius up there. I kind of like that. I can protect this unit eventually. No. We'll stay there. Okay. Attack phase. We gotta move on here. How are we doing this? I'm gonna let these two live, and we're gonna do everything we got on the Ignium. 2. This is the unit that had 7 HP because of that Bane. That's just brutal. Harpoonsman. I need to take out the Fury. Alright. 1 down, 1 down. Here we go. And then this Harpoonsman. The Ignium. Nothing. Nothing. Rough. This unit just deployed. Can't attack. Beast turn. Okay. Red, white. Here we go. 1, 2. Interesting. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't move. Combat lock. These are not combat lock because they're local. These all are. I really wish I rolled a 1 with the tiger. Now it's the attack. He won't attack either of these. This one will attack the closest weakest, which my choice between these two. Let's say it's this one. Ouch. 1 down for me. AI's turn. No gladiators, no tactics. Alright, they have 3 units left. No move, no move. But this unit will move because this is the position it's going for. Because these are all treated as friendly, it's only got 1 spot to go. So that works out nice. Attack. So this being a defender type, I talked about this earlier, Ignium does not have 2 options, but rather 1 because it's a defender, for better or for worse. So we're gonna do this, 1 damage, and then this is 1 damage. My hero is down to 4 HP. It sure feels like I should have. Do I only have 1 King of the Hell Point? Yeah, that's why we got to keep an eye on this. I don't think I missed it. But crucially important for sure. Can't attack. My turn. I'm at 2. So I need 4 more turns to survive. I still have a stun that I would like to maybe use. The tiger's in my way. Combat lock. I could potentially do a little trick in getting that hurl, and I can break combat with that tiger with 1 unit. Which I kind of like. So let's do movement. No. Saving it. Movement. Now. Hurl. The abilities. I can hook, but I'm not going to. Done using abilities. Attack phase. I gotta think this through. This one only has 1 target, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do that one. Because I know I want to attack. Yes! 1, 2, 3. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. Still don't know if I can do this, but it's a start. So I'm going to use this. The intercept blow ability on this is preventing me from defeating this unit. As shown, the intercept blow will trigger for the AI if it would result in preventing an ally from defeat. So that's why I had to pivot earlier to defeat this guy before this, between the two defenders, because of that skill. I love that unit. I want that unit. Okay, so attack. For 1. So now that defender has 1 health. I would love to get rid of it. My problem is if I harpoon that one, I'm opening up a hole for the attacker, and I want the attacker to still kind of run around. So I'm looking at my other options. Harpoonsman to the attacker. Let's get a good roll here. Blanks. Blanks. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. Beast turn. These two, red, white. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. No move. Okay. Now they attack. Nothing. That's good, except now it's the AI's turn. Their attacker's in movement range, so I'm gone either way, most likely. No move, they're adjacent. Attacker will move to the closest, weakest opposing unit. So I'm looking 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So obviously this one, and it's the weakest. So attack phase, attacker, they have a strong attack. Just needed to land 1. My other harpoonsman is down. Sport event, so it's okay, they're not gone forever, but I would like to win this one. So now we've got these left. This one has to attack that one because it's a defender. Not bad, not bad. Okay. Wow. My turn. I'm at 3. I'm halfway there. This is going to be a very tough one to overcome. I have a tactician in play, which means I can stun the attacker. I'm going to go ahead and play it. That keeps the attacker at bay for 1 more turn. Good news is neither of my units are combat locked. I mean, that is interesting. You know what? I'm saving my stun. Alright, now I'm moving to the movement phase. So I'm going to move with this unit up here, this one here. That's risky for sure. Attack. Virago. Bingshin. Got him. Yep. Giannini is down. Beast movement. So this is where it's going to get dicey. Red, white. So red's first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't move. White, 1, moves up. I don't like that. I was banking on, for some reason, I was thinking that tiger was going to be there, and then the attacker would have to reroute and not reach me, and then I was going to play the stun for the 5th point, and I could do the 6th. However, now with that news, they don't attack, okay? AI's turn, movement. They only have 2 units left. This one moves up. Now because this is a defender, again, I'm drawing fire from both of their opposing units. Again, I've only got 3 HP. So I could roll the attacker dice and see if they roll all blanks and then surrender if they don't. Or I could try and save all 4 of my HP. Again, it's one of those situations where you have to decide if you're going to lose the game or if for a week to heal up and move on. So that's the beauty of being able to surrender. It's part of the game. It's going to happen a few times. I have to surrender. I played it out. I love how I did it. I get to keep my stun, so I'm not terribly discouraged. The stun I still got from the Winds of Change effect. Again, that was 3 Banes, and I still almost managed to pull it off. Here we go. Surrender. Vetarius over here. I'm going to put the beast back. If they had not been local, that would have been a completely different game. Wow, 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 wow. So, I almost don't like to leave at that point. Let me just see what's next, and then I'll decide. How are we for time? Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. But let's do the cleanup phase, and then we'll get us positioned for Friday. So the Banes all have, okay, return. This one says discard on the bottom. That's great. So after that Bane has been processed, it's going away. I don't have to address it anymore. And funny enough, that Bane is what caused me to ultimately have to surrender this fight. So it did its job. These 2 Banes go in there. Very good. The 4 units that I played against, also in the bag. Alright. Putting this back. So now you got to see what the 3 dice are for. I'm just going to reference this one more time and make sure I'm doing this right. So I had to surrender. It was a sporting event. Surrender. Cycle event. Add 1 Scion influence. Yes. So the other downside is I also have that week, but the Scion influence. Very good. So then cycle event means to place this back here. And now just taking a look at where I've got to go. Looking ahead, I've got another sport event coming up. Just kind of, I'll discuss the strategies on the movement and wrapping up the last of the weeks here. So, yes. Wow, thank you for joining me, you guys. It was a lot of fun. I was really into it. I know I missed a couple of things, but obviously when not having to record things, I'll be able to catch all of the little details. But as you can see, there's a lot of tactical combat and strategies in play. I'm very excited to show you Friday. Yes, at 11 a.m. we will be live right here, and I'll take you through the next